Hi, Diane here. Thank you so much for purchasing the Kashi sales page template. And for this video, I'm going to show you how you can edit this and put in your brand images and your copy. So first things first, once you have installed this template and go inside the page editor, you would like to go first to the settings. So on your left, you'll see the left dashboard where you can see all the sections. The settings here is the first, and then you'll see this little icon. This is the desktop view or a laptop view or a bigger screen. This is for a smaller screen, usually a tablet or an iPad in horizontal orientation. This is also a smaller screen, an iPad or a tablet in vertical orientation, and this is for mobile. And then here would be the undo and the redo button and the save button. So for the settings, first thing that you want to do is edit the style guide and edit the colors. If you click the primary color and you don't see your brand color, what you have to do is go back to your main dashboard, and then at the bottom left, you will see settings, click on it, and then site details. Once you're in the site details, if you haven't filled this all these fields, go ahead and do so. And then here, upload your logo. Recommended is a PNG file or a transparent file. And then your favicon, which is the little icon here, and then the colors over here. And then down here, you want to edit your SEO and social sharing. Once this is all done, you can just hit save. And then you have to refresh the page so that when you click again the primary color, you'll see all the brand colors here. And then you can edit the button style. If you don't want to have it rounded, you can reduce the radius or keep it as is. And then inside your page, there are native font styles you can choose from. These are all provided by Kajabi. But if your brand font style is not included, I can help you install your brand font. And like for this example, this one is Bon Vivant, and this one is not included in the list. But this one is the Play for Display, and this is Poppins, which is the body font. And then if you scroll more, you can edit the font colors, which is the heading, the body font, and then the desktop sizes. Depending on your font style, some font style have smaller attributes, so it should be bigger, but some fonts are already big, so you want to make it smaller. And then down here would be for the mobile font sizes. It doesn't need to be the same as your desktop, for example, the H1. Usually for mobile, you want it to be a bit smaller, but not too small, just enough for your viewers to be able to read the text on a smaller screen. So once this has been updated, just hit back and then design tools. The design tool, and if you click on the show guides, let me save it, you'll be able to see some grid that will be used as your guide. But if you feel that this is kind of bit of distraction, you can just uncheck that and remove it. Hit back to go back to the main settings and then custom code. This template does not have heavy custom codes. Usually these are basics, like this is the font code where I have installed the script for the heading 6. And then this is the button design, because the default design for a button would be smaller padding. It's a smaller padding. The letters are not doesn't have letter space. And when you hover, it doesn't behave like that. So that one is coded. But the color of the main code, sorry, the color of the main button, which is the dark green, it's the same as this. So that's not coded. Whatever you put in here, that will reflect here. Unless you go to the specific button and then go to call to action, and then click on the color. That will change. Now let's go back to the settings and custom code. Another part, so we have the font for the code for the font, the code for the button. You can adjust the padding, which is the thickness of the padding of the actual button, which is this one. The font size, this font size is at 18 and this one is at 20. And then this is the regular font weight. If you want it bolder, you can put it at 600. And if you don't want a letter spacing style, you can just remove this. So whatever you do in the button here, say you have changed the font size or the font weight, make sure that you also copy this code and paste it here. Same goes if you will have a form, which is unlikely because this is sales page, or if you want to use this template for another reason, like a webinar where people have to put in the name and email, then you can update the form button as well. So just make sure you update this as well. Now the color when you hover, which is this one, this button design has three parts. This is the button BTN, this is the button hover, and this is the button before. This is where you add the hex color. So I have a little note here that you can change this for the color hover. So let's see. Let me change that to something else so you can see. So once that's done, you see there's a very subtle because it's both dark shade. You will see it's in um almost black. And then other codes here, it has some notes and which we'll go through later on. But if you will see all this design here, it's more of having a code for the image block and the text block here. But we'll discuss that later on. All right, so once you have done updating the settings, let's head down to the sections. In the sections, this is all the sections that is corresponding to this display. And if you see D, that means desktop. And if you see M, that means mobile. In the Kajabi's theme, which is Encore, you have the capability to hide a section and only set it to be visible on desktop, or let's say hide it in mobile. So for instance, this stop section here is only visible for desktop. And then this section here, if you click this little icon, this is for the mobile. If you don't see M or D, then this section is both visible for desktop and mobile. Now, inside the section, there are blocks. Let's go to this one, for example, the core problem. This is for the desktop. It has the text and it has the block. So inside the section, if you scroll or look at the bottom section, you'll see the section styles. This is where you can change your background image, or if you don't want to have a background image, you can have a background color. And inside the block, inside the section, you can click one of the blocks, and this is where you can update the text. And then down here, you'll see the block settings where you can add call to action, or you can adjust the background colors, or even adjust the padding. I'll discuss more about what padding is. Now, for this one, this section here on the right display, if I click any part outside this guide, I'll be able to go inside the actual section without me scrolling down and then want to edit course module. Because if I want to edit this part here, I can just click this space here, and then the left panel will show you where you can edit that. So if I want to edit this text here, I can just hover and click on it, and then the left panel will show you where you can edit that. In editing this page, you can either, so this is a new feature where you can actually edit inside the text block in the right display, and that would reflect in here. But if you want to edit from the left panel, it's either you just simply edit here, or you can click this full screen and add the word, and then close the full screen. Then you can have all the settings here to format your text. You can also delete from the right display. Now the image here, I do have a separate tutorial for the background images, and the recommended size for a background image is 2880 by 1200 pixels. And then there's always a rule that you need, well, not really mandatory, but as a pro tip, the element should be on the rule of the third. The sample rule of the third is that the subject of your image is on these points. You'll notice the grids and the subject is in this part, or in this part, or in this part. So that goes the same here, because when a viewer, when someone views your page on a smaller device, it will, the background image will focus here. Here's the focal point of the image. As it gets smaller, it will be here. Otherwise, that would be cut off. And so that's it. You can edit this. And then this one, for example, if you want to edit this, you don't like this kind of radius, just want to have a normal square size, you can then upload a new image. You're just simply clicking on the image block, and then on the left, you'll see the option to upload a new image. Once that's uploaded, let's go back to the settings and then to the custom code. And then find that option. Find that option here. So this is the border radius. So the first one is the top left, which is 0. And then the top right would be the 100 pixels. The third is the bottom right, and then the last pixel would be the bottom left. So for example, I want to make this a 0. So it will be like that. So if you don't like that, you can just simply delete this part from my note here down to the very last closing bracket. So let me also show you this part here. If I click this section here, you'll see the image, and you don't see the D or M, meaning to say this is both visible for desktop and mobile. This text over here is only visible for desktop, and you'll notice 2 M's here. If I go here, you'll be able to see this as the first text M. You have an option to edit this. If you will have like just a script here, and then down here would be the body font, you can do so. And you'll have 2 separate text box. So this is recommended if the text block has a script. So that would give you the option to have an inside padding, because some script, it will cut off the letters. I'm not sure why, but that's like the trend that I see usually for script font. So that's why I put in the inside padding of 25. If I don't separate the heading and the body font here, then um, let me try to hide the second text. If I don't hide it, and this one is here, And then I click on that. And then I go to mobile and add a padding of say 50 or 30. That would increase here. So what I usually do is just separate the heading text and the body text like this. Okay. And then here's just a normal background like the top section, but this time, oh, sorry, before that, this one here, if I go to this section, this one is aligned in the left because if otherwise, if it's aligned in the center, it would go like that. So since I don't have any elements here, like another text block, I'll just align it in the left. Unlike here, it's all single text block, and this one is all in the center. And this is another example of why I need to separate this section. You'll see that the subject of this background is occupying all the space here. So let me set this section to be visible on mobile. If I go to the mobile, this is how it would look like. See her hips, that will be the focal point of the image. That's why I need to make a separate section. And so if I go to mobile and just go inside the mobile section, I can just simply put up the nice image at the top and then text below the image. And then you can just simply update all this text here and upload a new mockup that you have. And then for the logo, you'll see all here. If you click that, you can upload a new one and then you can update the image width. So this image block here has two width. Even if I make it like 500, it will not go because that would lock into two columns. But if I make this like just 50, that will be a lot smaller. So all these logos that you see are all visible for desktop. And in mobile, there's only one image there, which is one. You have to have an image that will have all these logos here. Because let me show you. Oops, sorry, not hide. If I unhide a couple of logo images and set it to visible on mobile, here's how it would look like. There will be a lot of logos here, and that will be a lot of scrolling. So on your desktop, you can upload it individually and adjust the image width, but in mobile, all these logos are hidden in mobile, but you need to have a new logo with all the logos in it for just for mobile view. And then notice that on this top section, if I scroll, this one doesn't stick, but this one, if I scroll, it sticks like here. So you can achieve that if you go to that section and then background, and then this is the fixed background image. And then here, you can have your own brand module image. It doesn't need to be a laptop. It could be just an image, and you can simply upload a new one. If you have more than 4 modules, what you have to do is I have numbered them here. You just have to click the 3 dots next to image 4, duplicate, click on back, and then duplicate the text. So they go in pairs. So now this is your 5th module, and you can just simply rename this to your brand module and then add your description and then upload a new image here. All right, so for this one, for the customer's journey, um, let me show you. You can the the settings for a block is up to 12 columns. Even if I put this in 4, this one is in 4. Usually this would go up right to the next to the text block. But since this text block in the desktop layout, it is set to go or place on its own row. That's how this option is. But if this is unchecked, then this one goes right next to it. So you can use this if you want one block on one row, but doesn't have to be in 12. For example, this one is in 4, this one is in 5, this one is in 3. So we've got 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that makes 12. If I make this at 5, and this is also 5, and this one is 3, that's more than 12. So this one comes to the next row. Now, if you want to change this image, you can again go back to the settings and then custom code, expand this, and then try to find the how it works. There you are, how it works, the 3 blocks. You will have this is the first image, this is the second image block, and then this is the third image block. You will see that they have different shapes. You can change that to your liking. And here's the testimonial. My technique for testimonial is that you can click this edit mode first, and then type in the actual review and the name. You can upload a real image or just an icon if you want to. Once this is done, so you don't have to update another icon here to have the same, but you can just delete this dummy block and then click these 3 dots and duplicate. So that saves you time in uploading the icon if you're using an icon. Or let's say this is a real image. If you go to the image style, you can set it to say 150. So that if you clone this, it will copy the same image width without you going through again the image style. So that's one of the techniques that I can share with you. So this one, you can change this. This is also coded. You can go back to the settings, custom code, and then find the ultimate choice for transformation node. All right, so for the payment option, I only have 2, but you can always have 3 or more, or just one. This block here is at 5, and this one is at 5. So if you create a new one, let's say you want to duplicate it, that would just go right here. You have to adjust this to 4. So that makes 3 4 blocks. Like so. And it's a new feature of Kajabi to have 2 buttons. But if you don't have 2 payment plans in, say, the first level of your membership, for instance, you can just click this text block or the pricing card, go to call to action. This is the primary color, and this is the secondary. You can just uncheck that so it doesn't have to be 2 buttons here. If you have another or a second CTA, you'll have another option whether you want to go to a second or the payment, multiple payment checkout page, and this one goes to the full payment. All right, so for this one, so the other testimonial is a slider. You can either keep this, remember to uncheck that and hit save. You can still use this, and if you don't like using just text blocks, you can go back to the main section, find the testimonial slider, click on the 3 dots, and then duplicate it. Once that's duplicated, the cloned section will be at the very bottom. And if you hold and drag, then you can just have it right here. Then this text testimonial, you can just click on the 3 dots and then hide it. So that also saves you time in editing, whether you want to have a bigger icon or a headshot, or if you want to have a smaller padding here. This one here is also coded, but remember when you upload a new image, the radius can also be adjusted if you go back to the settings and then find that about section, and you'll be able to find the code to edit that. Okay, so that's the last code here, the about image section. And if you have more than for the frequent asked questions, if you have more than one accordion, or if you don't like this flat color, you can pick one of the accordions, style it to your liking, say a yellow, and then you want to have some borderline, you can do that. And then just remove the rest of the accordion and duplicate that. That automatically copies the style. So this one is the same as the top hero section, but this one is set to sticky or a fixed image. You can uncheck that and just make sure that you have a smaller image so it doesn't occupy this big. But it depends on your liking. So from time to time, remember to save your work as you progress, and you can always use the undo button. Now, let me talk more about the mobile view. So remember, when you're editing the mobile view, it's always good to preview it, send a link to your mobile, so that you can view it on your mobile device. So um, so this is the hero section for the desktop. Let me unhide this, and this is how it would look like. It will not see the subject of your background because it will focus on the center part. So it's always good to have a different section for mobile or sections that has an image, background image with an element. So for the hero, top hero, I have to separate the image here. This is the script text that I was talking about, a different section or block. And then this one would be the heading and the body font. Which is, oh, so also if what's included in Y on this section, so this one doesn't have D and M. So it means that if you edit the subject here in mobile, it will also be updated. But for example, here, I think for the second section or the third, yeah, for the this one, since there's a letter M, if I make changes here and then go now to mobile edit, that will not reflect because the core problem section or the second section has a separate mobile and desktop. So that's all good. Right. So we have reached the end of the video. If you find in your progress any challenges or you're stuck, please let me know. I have my email on the PDF instruction, the link to my Instagram, and you can always reach out to me and I'll be happy to assist you. So thank you so much again for your time. Enjoy. Bye-bye.